Okay, I'm Deborah and I'm about to make a scrumptious, wonderful, delicious lemon meringue pie. And this is for Worst Cooks in America. And I'm going to do my best here and you're going to find out why I really need your help. So we're going to start off with lemons. Even though that's not exactly what the recipe tells me to do, I like to wash things. And you know, when produce has been out in the field with people and you never know what's going to happen because there aren't always restrooms nearby. I just like to wash everything. So, here I go. I'm going to wash these lemons off. Even though we're not eating the peelings, I'm washing them because that's just the thing to do. And if you notice, you may or may not notice, I have some music in the background because music just makes the mistakes go better. And music makes everything go better, especially when you're nervous and doing something that's really not the thing that you're best at. So I'm going to rinse these lemons off, and then we're going to start with this exciting recipe. I've had this recipe for over 30 years, just over 30 years. My mother actually gave it to me in a box of Betty Crocker recipes, as a matter of fact, as a wedding gift. I don't know what she was thinking, because every time I tried to make something from the recipe or not, it was a disaster. To the point where my family discourages me from trying to do too much in the kitchen. They like the way I clean it, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so dry my hands, and we're going to get busy. I think I should preheat the oven. So let me see what it calls for. Preheat oven to 425. I can do that. The only thing is I do get confused as to whether I should use convection or regular bake, because I think, like, I read up on convection, but I still don't really have it straight. But I think convection makes it either hotter or faster or something. So to play it safe, I'll go with regular bake. And then if it seems like I need to do something else, then I'll convert to convection. Let's see. So, whoops, that's the wrong thing. I hit the wrong button. Let's stop this and start again. Bake at 425. Oops. Come on, stove, work with me. All right, start. So there, we're preheating the oven. Okay, so let's see. Should I do the meringue first, or the lemon first, or the crust? Maybe I'll do the crust first, because that has to go on the bottom. So I think that's very logical to do the crust first. So my crust calls for 1 cup of flour and ½ teaspoon of salt. Now, here's the thing about flour. This is 2015, y'all, and everybody wants to be healthy, right? So I'm not going to use the regular bleach flour. I'm going to use whole wheat flour. Yes. And that, I'm thinking whole wheat flour make it a nice heartier crust too. So I just need something to measure. Oh, 1 cup of flour. I'll use this one. All right, 1 cup of flour. Here we go. I can do that. It didn't say whether to put it in a bowl or not, though. Let's see. What am I supposed to do? Measure 1 cup of flour. Oh, it does say put it in a bowl. Okay, I'm cooking with oil. Here we go. So 1 cup of flour. That's a cup. In a bowl. And this is a bowl. All right. So, and then, now it didn't say glass or metal bowl, so I'm using a glass bowl, at least for now. If I have to transfer it, then whatever. All right, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. I'm kind of thinking ½ teaspoon of salt. This recipe is at least 30 years old, and that was before people realized you shouldn't use so much sodium. So I'm going to reduce the salt to maybe just a pinch after I find the salt. Salt. Here we go, salt. And it didn't say whether I needed to use sea salt or just salt. So I'm going to just put a little bit of salt in my hand. That should be enough. Just to kind of sprinkle it over there and flavor it with salt. All right. Now, let's see. Cut in a 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of shortening. A 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of shortening. All right. Cut. I know how to do that. I just got to find my cutter. Cutter is one of these drawers. What happens when you're rushing? Shouldn't rush. You should have everything all mapped out. So, here's my cutter. I knew I had a cutter. I knew I had it. Just couldn't remember where it was because I don't do this sort of thing. I couldn't find it. Okay. All right. Let me do that. Okay. So, I'm going to cut in, cut in 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of shortening. Now, it didn't say what kind of shortening, so I'm going to use olive oil because I use olive oil for everything anyway when I do cook. Because we know that we're not supposed to cook with margarine and oleo, and butter is fattening. So, okay, I need to measure 1/3 plus 1 tablespoon. That sounds like a lot of shortening. I think that's going to make my my pie crust really greasy, so we're going to reduce that. Let's see. 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup, here we go. The 1/3 cup and a tablespoon. So I'll make it, cut in 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of shortening. I'll make it just 1/3 cup. Scrap the tablespoon. Who needs it? Okay. So there's, a little bit less than a 1/3 cup. Then if I need to add some later once it's going, I'll just add that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut those in. It says cut them in, and I know this is what you're supposed to cut it with. So, okay. So I'm cutting it in, and then 1 tablespoon at a time, mixing until, cold water. Okay. So I'll tell you what, I think when people have to cook from a recipe, they should have one person reading the recipe and somebody else mixing and somebody else getting the ingredients out. I mean, really, when you think about it, there's a lot going on in the kitchen. I don't know how some of those women do it. And men too, for that matter.